You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Wednesday, October 3rd. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us. 4 more Bermudians part ways with Ascendant Company, this time from among the senior management team with a combined 85 years service to the company. Ascendant, in a release, indicated 2 of those workers, Mike Daniel, a senior vice president and chief strategic officer, and Carol Ross de Silva, the senior vice president of organizational development, were both made redundant. Mr. Daniel worked at Belco for 29 years. Ms. de Silva had 23 years service with the company. Denton Williams, another Ascendant senior vice president and chief operations officer at Belco, along with Zena Davis, the senior vice president of human resources, both, quote, resigned. Mr. Williams was employed at Belco for 29 years, Ms. Davis for 4. Ascendant's Canadian CEO Sean Durfee said in a release, each of these individuals should be proud of the impact that they have made on our employees and the organization over the years. The board of directors and I are grateful to these very talented people for their service to the company and wish them the very best in their future endeavors. It's been suggested upwards of 20 people have been made redundant from Belco in the last 2 years. However, the company has not commented on these claims. Elsewhere, it's understood government is keeping a watchful eye on these developments. And confirmation this evening from the One Bermuda Alliance that an alleged incident took place between 2 party members. A spokesperson telling our newsroom that a complaint was lodged with the executive today, whereby a member criticized the alleged behavior of another party member. Only the 2 individuals are said to have been present, understood to be between a male and a female. They add that they take all allegations very seriously and will be meeting to consider the matter, also ensuring that a fair and proper process is followed. Police say they are aware of the incident that took place at the OBA headquarters and are looking into it. Well, imagine going out to a restaurant or your favorite establishment only to encounter an employee who cannot speak or understand English. Well, residents have long complained about such a scenario, and government is now planning a new policy mandating English proficiency for select foreign workers. Try Trot has our story.
Nobody here speak English. Nobody in the back speak English.
Hialeah, Florida. A woman drives through a Taco Bell restaurant to place an order, only for the Spanish-speaking employee behind the counter to refuse her service, claiming she could not speak English to the customer.
I'm trying to order food.
The outraged customer manages to capture the encounter on her phone before it makes national news across the United States. While the incident did not happen here in Bermuda, many residents have complained of similar encounters at restaurants with landscapers, hotel workers, cleaners, chefs, waiters, and the list goes on. Government has received so many complaints that it is considering a new English proficiency policy for guest workers from non-English speaking countries.
Regarding the English speaking policy,
Walton Brown Jr. is the Minister for Home Affairs, announcing that government was consulting key stakeholders before implementing the policy. He warned it could be dangerous for a foreign worker to not be able to communicate in or read English.
The job categories that are being targeted by the new policy are those in industries where the job holder interacts with the public and or in jobs where lives could be threatened if the person cannot speak or read English.
Mr. Brown outlining the process an employer must undertake for a potential employee applying for a work permit from a non-English speaking nation.
The employer will be required to show evidence that the applicant can successfully pass an English as a second language program.
Under this policy, immigration personnel would investigate complaints from the public that work permit holders can't speak or understand English. However, there would be a different procedure where a complaint is made against a work permit holder who is already working here.
He or she will be brought into the Department of Immigration and given an English language test. If the test results indicate that the person is deficient in the understanding of or ability to speak English, i.e. they failed the test, the employer and employee will be advised that the minister is considering revoking the work permit. Both parties will be given 14 days to provide a written response as to why the minister should not revoke the work permit.
But even if that existing worker passes that on-island English test, they will be allowed to continue employment but could be retested by immigration at any time. The Ministry of Home Affairs is undergoing its consultation process and invites submissions by October 12, 2018. Pending the results of the consultation, the policy would go into effect on October 19, 2018. Try Trot reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And we'll have more for you after this short break, including details of that shooting at Frizzles Hill last night and all the latest weather news. Stay with us.
Previously at Mailboxes U.S. Express. Mailboxes Unlimited gives you an address in New Jersey for just $20 a year, and we'll ship your stuff from there to here and save you over 80% on the shipping. Join the over 11,000 people that are already members of Mailboxes US Express. We are the cheapest and the fastest way to ship stuff from there to here. Excuse me while I answer my phone.
My name is Steve Thompson, and I approve of this message.
Mailboxes US Express. Sign up today.
You can count on us.
Fresh Attitude salads, 5-ounce package, just $3.99 each. Fresh Purdue chicken thighs, hot price, $1.99 per pound. Kraft mayonnaise, 30-ounce jar, $5.69. Arm & Hammer laundry detergent, 75-ounce bottle, hot price, $9.99. Sargento sliced cheeses, 6.7, 8-ounce packages, hot price, $3.99. All stores open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Surface Trends has been serving Bermuda for over 25 years, supplying and installing tile and natural stone. We have a large in-stock selection of beautiful porcelain wood planking, including our exclusive Bermuda cedar tile. You will also find Bermuda's best in-stock selection of countertops, including natural granites, exotic quartzites, and silestone engineered quartz in all the newest colors. Our team will be happy to help you. Stop by our showroom at 17 Serpentine Road or give us a call at 295-8005.
New Toyota Rush, Bermuda's biggest SUV with 7 seats. There's always plenty of room. Available at Bermuda Motors.
Welcome back. 35-year-old Rashad Cooper today avoided being sent to prison after pleading guilty to using offensive words and intruding on the privacy of a woman at a St. George's Boat Club, offenses he committed on the same day he was released from prison. The incident happened at the East End Mini Yacht Club around 10 p.m. on July 30th, 2015. Prosecutor Larissa Burgess said the victim was out with her friends at the bar when Cooper began to hurl threats at her. He then called her a cougar, insisting that he wanted to have sex with her. After finding out she was a police officer, it encouraged him to continue. He then approached her, placing his leg between hers against a wall, asking if he made her nervous. The officer, who was familiar with the defendant's violent criminal history, left the bar while being escorted by a male friend as she feared for her safety. She then reported the incident to police, and Cooper was later arrested. In a statement, the woman said the incident left her terrified, fearing that Cooper was going to push her over the wall that he held her up against. She added, quote, "I had to do the right thing to prevent him from accosting another woman." Ms. Burgess said Cooper admitted to drinking a bottle of Hennessy that night after being released from Westgate Prison. She called for Cooper to be jailed for 3 to 6 months, given his previous conviction in 2012 for threatening behavior towards a police officer, for which he served 10 days in prison, his limited remorse, and high risk of reoffending. Defense lawyer Paul Wilson suggested that his client's actions were less serious because it happened at a bar, and that he may have been acting more assertively following his release from prison. However, Senior Magistrate Juan Wolf interrupted to warn counsel not to diminish his client's actions, stating sexual assault has little to do with attraction and more to do with power and the objectification of women. Mr. Wilson said since the incident, his client has not consumed alcohol and has become a devoted father to his 2 young children. He said the murders of Cooper's twin brothers, Jamil and Jamal, in 2005 played a major part in his excessive alcohol use as a means of coping. Addressing the court, Cooper said he's owned up to his actions and apologized to the victim. On his brother's killing, he said, "It hurts me when I think about it, but I shouldn't take it out on other people." Senior Magistrate Wolf said the court will not tolerate such behavior while highlighting the seriousness of offenses against women. Cooper received 3 years probation. He was ordered to refrain from drug and alcohol use, an evening curfew, counseling and rehabilitation provided by court services. Cooper received a stern warning from the magistrate who said, quote, "You break any, you're going to prison." Investigations continue to a confirmed firearm incident that occurred around 10:40 last night in the Frizzles Road North Terrace, Pembroke area. Residents telling us they heard between 9 and 12 shots fired. There were no reported injuries, however. The gunfire did cause damage to a car as well as some property damage. Ironically, only hours before, members of the police community action team conducted a meeting in the neighborhood where citizens expressed their concerns over recent antisocial behavior and discussed ways to address it. A police spokesman said over the next few days, a community action team officers will return to follow up with area residents about Tuesday night shooting as well with other concerns, while working with area MPs to identify long-term solutions. Detectives are keen to speak with anyone who may have seen any suspicious activity in the area, in particular anyone that saw two individuals on a motorcycle around the time the shooting took place. Any information you can give is important, no matter how insignificant it may seem to you. The number to dial is 295-0011 or the independent and confidential Crime Stoppers hotline on 800-8477. Well, Walter Raban making it clear that he intends to remain deputy leader of the Progressive Labour Party. Mr. Raban stated his intention in an interview with Gary Moreno in light of a report in the Daily, which indicated he could face a challenge from Scott Simmons, MP for Southampton West. If a challenge does come, it will be during the party's delegates conference.
The Delegates Conference takes place from October 24th to 26th, and Mr. Raban says while he feels he's done enough to remain in position, he is not taking anything for granted.
I do believe that I continue to be the best candidate for that job, working as a team member of the Progressive Labour Party with all my other 25 colleagues alongside the leader, and I do believe that the members will give me that opportunity again. And yes, yesterday I did file my official nomination forms so that it is clear that I am, yes, running again for the deputy position, and I look forward to continuing in that role at the end of the conference.
The announcement of a possible challenge for the deputy post has led to speculation of dissent among the ranks. Mr. Raban, though, moved quickly to dispel that notion.
It's coming clearly from people who don't know what's going on in the party. We are united. We are a cohesive team. The success that we have achieved and the results that we have achieved since July, I think, show that. I get a lot of positive feedback on the work that we have done as a government, and the party itself as an organization is stronger than ever. So the leadership of myself and David Burt as the leader, I believe, and all the other team members has contributed to that. So the party is better and healthier and stronger than it's ever been before.
The real power brokers within the PLP are the delegates who vote on leadership positions. Reports suggest prospective candidate Mr. Simmons has been renewing acquaintances with them. Mr. Raban says that is simply par for the course.
I do believe that my work over the past 2 years will speak for itself, but I have been talking to delegates as well. And I do believe I will have the support required to continue with the job that I have been bestowed with.
Of course, who will become PLP leader David Burt's second-in-command won't be known until after the all-important delegates conference. That is, of course, if any challenge is in fact mounted. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Weather now, and it's been fairly overcast today, but as you can see on our tower cam, it's turned out to be a lovely evening. Well, let's go to the AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
You're watching this AccuWeather forecast here on ZBM, brought to us by our friends at the BF&M Insurance Group. And we do have Hurricane Leslie off to the east. Now, even though it is only about 500 miles from us, it's basically stationary, and it's not going to come much closer. It'll be holding about approximately where it is right now, and then eventually it'll drift north and ultimately get scooped up by a trough and pushed away to the northeast. So we've had a rough week when it comes to boating weather, but otherwise it really hasn't been all that bad for us. You can see it's a pretty photogenic storm, and it did become a hurricane in the past 24 hours. It'll likely remain probably a Category 1 storm for most of its lifetime over the next 2 to 3 days before it eventually weakens again to a tropical storm over the cooler water. Here is what the rainfall associated with Leslie looks like. And you can see the outermost rain bands have made it maybe 200 miles from us, if it's about 500 miles away, the center of the storm. So about half the distance between Bermuda and the center of Leslie would eventually take you into the showers, and some of them are kind of gusty. But the main threat tied to this storm for us is really just bad boating weather and big waves. Current conditions are around 79 to 80 degrees. Humidity is holding around 75%. Still a stiff breeze from the northeast at 15 to 20 knots. It is gradually subsiding from where it was yesterday and on Tuesday, but still it is pretty breezy out there, and that's leading to 2 to 4 foot waves rolling on the inside, and on the outside 7 to 13 feet, generally closer to 7 feet to the south and a little closer to 13 feet to the north of St. George's as those winds and waves are buffeting us from the north and northeast. So it remains windy tonight. We'll get down to around 73. Some patches of cloud will scoot across the sky from north to south, and a small craft warning remains in effect through Thursday and Friday because of our storm, Leslie off to the east, producing that wind and the bigger waves nearby. The forecast, really a schedule, if you will, as we are certain as to when these tides occur, is as follows here. Again, the tide is going out. Low tide at 10:44 tonight. High tide early tomorrow morning. Another low tide at 10:57 a.m. And then high tide tomorrow at 5:17 p.m. So tomorrow, another windy day, to no surprise, with nothing really changing in our local weather scenario, with Leslie still about 500 miles to our east. We don't expect to see many day-to-day changes, and you're going to be underwhelmed by the change from tonight into the day on Thursday and then into Thursday night. You can see this is just beginning to drift north slowly, and for us it's an unchanging wind from the north. It'll eventually become a little more north-northwesterly as we step into Thursday night, as the storm begins to pull a little farther north beyond our latitude. So Hurricane Leslie is the only tropical threat at the moment. We're also keeping an eye on things to the east of Nicaragua, but that's still several days away from development. Scattered showers and storms for our friends in the Caribbean, into the eastern part of North America. A couple of showers and storms into Toronto and areas near the Great Lakes. Warm in Boston and Atlanta, New York for a day or two. London, 67 degrees. And we're generally dry here. Eventually a little brighter on Sunday and Monday. Highs in the low 80s. Still breezy for the next few days. Back to you.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
This summer I was in Germany on holiday with my family, and on a whim one day my son and I joined a speed sliding competition. And as I came down the water slide, I went straight down in the pool and whacked my left foot on the bottom of the pool. And I looked down and I didn't see a foot. I just saw the bones sticking out, and I started to feel faint. I was ambulanced to a hospital where I stayed for 11 days and had surgery. I had snapped all the ligaments on both sides of my ankle. And in the middle of all this stress and pain, we thought, how are we going to deal with health insurance? How will we pay for this? And I got a response from Allison at BF&M, and she said, your admission and surgery will be covered at 100%. I didn't have to put it on a credit card and deal with a reimbursement later. It made such a big difference to us. And for me, the BF&M difference is stress-free insurance when I really needed it.
Bassett, custom designs by you at Furniture Walk. So, how do you like it? Choose your arm style, then select your pieces. Special order exactly what you want. Your style, your way. Sofa, love seat, chair, sectional, you name it. Bassett, your style, your way at Furniture Walk.
My previous doctor had once or twice said to me, you're pre-diabetic. And then I changed over to Dr. James. One of my blood tests, he came back and they told me I was diabetic. It was kind of gut-wrenching, really. And I saw Dr. Cavan. He explained that there was this program.
This is not a specific diet. The focus is on lifestyle change.
You get to network with a bunch of people, all with slightly different stories, slightly different goals, different activity levels, different ages, but you're all trying to achieve the same thing at the end.
That it is to help people change their lifestyles in order to reverse the process that leads to type 2 diabetes, and in some cases that will lead to them no longer having type 2 diabetes.
To date, I've lost, say, 30 pounds, 6 inches off my waist. So it's been successful.
Patients immediately begin to notice that they feel better. Significant weight loss has been probably the most dramatic thing that most people are excited about. And in addition to that, it's much better sugar control.
Potentially, it could save your life.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, a new electricity plan for the island is one step closer to becoming reality, with no fewer than 8 alternative proposals submitted to the regulatory authority for review and public consultation. Gary Moreno tells us more.
The Integrated Resource Plan is meant to forecast Bermuda's future electricity demand and identify generation technologies to include in its future energy supply. The proposals submitted include one from BCM McAlpine and a partner company for the construction of a 20-megawatt plant at Ship's Wharf, which will be powered by multiple energy sources, including biomass, liquefied oil products, and natural gas. Bermuda Engineering Company Limited's proposal calls for the use of renewable energy resources. Another group, headed by Bermuda Environment Energy, proposes the building of a 56.2 megawatt power plant at Ship's Wharf using liquefied natural gas and heavy fuel oil to generate power. The idea, put forward by Bermuda General Agency Limited, BGA, relies on the water around us and would see a wave energy park being built to generate 20 megawatts of electricity. Brad Sorensen submitted a proposal to build up to 200 megawatts of generation capacity using clean water and power. Another partnership involving 2 companies, Enviva and Albioma, submitted a proposal to build 47 megawatts of biomass-based generating capacity. Meanwhile, the idea for a floating power generation unit was put forward by Offshore Utilities. Under this plan, the offshore unit would produce up to 100 megawatts of power through the use of liquefied natural gas. The 8th proposal, which comes from Seoul Petroleum Bermuda Limited, involves the company building a dual-fuel power plant generating either 18.4 or 55.2 megawatts of power. The plan includes a LNG terminal at the Ferry Reach Marine Storage Terminal. These proposals will all now be mulled over by the regulatory authority and put out for public comment. Aaron Smith, the Regulatory Authority Interim CE, says, quote, "The IRP is an important document that will set the long-term plan for Bermuda's electricity generation. To that end, the authority will ensure that this process is all-encompassing and that the information is widely available as possible to all residents."
Residents are urged to visit the regulatory authority's website, rab.bm, for more information about these proposals and also to make their submissions before November 13th. Still to come, Earl Basin will have all the latest sports news in just a few minutes.
Price Rate is your one-stop shop with something for everyone. Household goods for kitchen, bedroom, and bathroom. Aisles of bulk groceries at value prices. A complete selection of fresh meat and produce. And an extensive range of frozen items to cover every meal. Wines from around the world and beer and liquor at discount prices. Visit Price Right at our 2 locations in Pembroke and Warren. There's always something new and always something for everyone.
This is Jane. Jane has been living independently until her recent fall. Because of the injury she sustained, her mobility is now limited. Jane chose Bermuda InHome Care to assist her with her activities of daily living. The caregivers at Bermuda InHome Care are trained to care for individuals with limited mobility. They incorporate exercise and activities into Jane's care plan given by her doctor and physiotherapist. The caregiver helps the family select the right medical equipment from Lighthouse Medical Supplies. Lighthouse Medical Supplies have certified durable medical equipment specialists available to help. Falls are the #1 cause of injury in older adults. Falls lead to head injuries and hip fractures. Fall prevention is critical. Call Bermuda InHome Care to speak to one of our home care specialists. Call us now for a free home care assessment, 705-4424. or visit us at www.bermudainhomecare.com.
Sport now, and Earl Braisden brings us the very latest from the sports desk.
Nicky Wells and his Queen's Park Rangers teammates secured all 3 points at Reading last evening, courtesy of skipper Tony Lesterner's 64th minute strike. Reggie Lamb and his Cambridge United teammates were unable to end Forest Green Rovers' unbeaten start to the Sky Bet League 2 as they fell 3-1 at the Abbey Stadium. In a matter of days, the Youth Olympics will get underway in Argentina, with Bermuda being represented by 3 athletes, swimmers Madeline Moore and Kai Legband, as well as track and field athlete Clavante Lodge Bean will fly the Bermuda flag. Bermuda chef de mission Zanique Williams can't wait for things to get going.
These athletes are performing at such a high level already. And also the Youth Olympics, they try to bring athletes together and, teach them things about just amazing. I don't think it's going to be pressure. I think it's going to be more of an experience for them.
Michael Franklin began taking part in the Men's Professional Squash Association's Wakefield Open in Virginia. Franklin would take on Ruben Phillips from the U.S. in his first round match, and he would go down in 4 games. Phillips would take a 1-0 lead when he won the first game 11-5. Phillips would go ahead 2-0 when he won the second game 11-7. Franklin would give himself a lifeline when he won the third game 11-5, but Phillips would close out the match, winning the fourth game 13-11. Trey Simons and his Morehouse College men's cross-country teammates dominated the field at the Willie Laster Cross Country Invitational in Albany. Morehouse College runners took 6 of the top 8 spots, led by senior Simons, who won in a time of 25:40. Zico Harris and his Appalachian State University men's soccer teammates bounced back with a 3-0 triumph over George Mason at George Mason Stadium. Harris highlighted the victory with his first career multi-score game, scoring a pair of goals. Rashad Cooper sailed to St. Mary's College of Maryland's A-class boat at the Denmark Trophy Interconference Regatta, sailing the 420. Cooper helped St. Mary's College of Maryland finish 17th overall. The Class A boat recorded 71 points. Meanwhile, Ben Smith helped the College of Charleston to victory in the SAISA North Point 3 Interconference Sailing Regatta, also sailed in the 420s. Smith sailing the College of Charleston B boat finished first in the division with 5 points. Maha Clark's teammate Mavitsta Mitsti scored the golden goal in Queen's University of Charlotte field hockey 5-4 victory over Bellamere University. The win improves Queen's University of Charlotte win streak to a program best 5 games as Queen's moved to 5-1 on the year. Walker Campbell and his William & Mary's men's golf teammates posted 2 strong scores as it shot a 574-2 in the first 2 rounds of the Firestone Invitational. William & Mary shot 292 4-over in the first round before shooting 282-6 in the second round. Ohio held the first day lead with a 12-under 564 through 36 holes. Junior Campbell, who is making his season debut, posted 145 1-over for the tournament thus far. In Commercial League bowling action at the War Lanes, it saw Sweet Life defeat the Spinners 4-0. The BPS Blue Lanterns defeated the Braves 4-0. We Do It Big defeated the Secret Weapons 4-0, while the Pin Pushers defeated the Sunsets 4-0. Cool Runners defeated the Superstars 3-1. The game between VTC and BLDC 10-Pin Mafia ended 2-2. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
More news for you tonight. Air quality concerns at Paget Primary. The Ministry of Education today explained prior to a pre-scheduled school inspection, it was noted that the autism spectrum disorder classroom air purifier was giving off an offensive smell. And as a precaution, staff asked to be temporarily relocated to another room until air quality tests were conducted. The class has been relocated to another room within the school, while the ministry's facilities team effects repairs to have the ASD classroom repaired. The team will be removing cupboards, fixing lights, and carrying out general cleaning of the room and fixtures. Air quality tests will be conducted, and the facilities team will start repairs within the next few days. According to the release, prior to the start of the school year, no work was required in the ASD classroom, and the minor work that is to be carried out now came about as a result of a pre-scheduled inspection carried out on September 28th. The Department of Education moving to reassure staff, students, and parents of our commitment to provide safe school environments. And that's our show for tonight. Once again, thanks for spending your evening with us, and I hope to see you again at the same time tomorrow. Good night.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.